So hopefully everyone's having a good day. I've got some really batshit fucking stuff I wanted to talk about today, but I wanted to start with Donald Trump. I wanted to start and get it out there, right? It's just a retweet. It's an opinion of somebody. I'll put it out there. So now that I've put it out there, I want to get into what I really want to talk about. And I want to give you a long preface here. So damn, okay. So now again, Donald Trump, stop the steal. Think about that. Donald Trump, stop the steal. This is the part where I get I'm going to start preaching to you motherfuckers. I'm going to get on my soapbox. That's just, I don't have a soapbox. I don't use soap. As we know, I am a Republican, so I do not. Why would I use soap? What? The Democrats, they have soup for their family. The Republicans should have soap for their family, yet they've got neither. Anyway, so as I'm on my box that does not contain soap, I just want to say, when you think of Stop the Steal, you think of the most fringe right-wing movements, right? The people that Trump, whenever Trump would say something, and then people would go okay, Trump is, he's going to walk this back, but, it's a dog whistle. Well, what is a dog whistle? I'm not talking about this kind of dog. You see that fucking dog right there? I'm not talking about that dog. I'm talking about racists. That's right. So when Donald Trump would go out there and retweet, oh, white power, it's just a retweet. It's an opinion of somebody.
Retweet. That was an opinion of somebody, and that was a retweet. I'll put it out there. People can decide for themselves. I don't take a position.
So when he says that, I don't take a position, what he's doing is he is leaving it open for when the Nazi who likes white power sees Trump, oh, well, Trump doesn't take a position. Of course he's got to walk it back. He's the president. But when I see that, what it means is Trump is secretly on my side. So now, fast forward a couple months later, a year later, 4 years later, 5 years later, whatever you want to say the starting point is, right? When you fast forward to that culminates in Stop the Steal. That's what that culminates in. And this is my thesis here, right? So, okay, you have these people that have been placated, right? They've been enabled for 4 years, and then at the last minute, Trump loses. Uh-oh. Wait a second. Reality has come crashing through my window. So then there's another break. Those who acknowledge that Donald Trump has lost, and those who are in it for the long haul, that's right, Stop the Steal. Now again, why am I talking about this? We all hate Donald Trump, right? Well, a lot of people hate Donald Trump without really thinking about why Donald Trump became president. A lot of the people who hate Donald Trump love to just say it's Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton was such a bad candidate that Donald Trump managed to win. Well, that's true, but it also ignores the fact that Donald Trump knows how to speak to crowds. He knows how to form cults around him based on his personality. That is how Donald Trump became president, and that's why Hillary Clinton was unable to stop him. Now, Hillary Clinton, garbage. She is trash, right? And I'm grateful that I finally got Pokemon Go to the polls as a sound drop. I'm grateful.
I don't know who created Pokemon Go, but I'm trying to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
Right? That's a losing candidate. You can't win if you're Hillary Clinton, right? But people love to say it's the Democrats that caused Trump. That's true, in part. But those same people that have made that argument 4 years ago, what was Jimmy Dore? And this is how I'm going to weasel it in. What was Jimmy Dore saying 4 years ago? What was he saying? He was saying it doesn't matter if Trump wins. Think about this. It doesn't matter. Supreme Court, There's no way Trump's going to get 3 Supreme Court justices on the Supreme Court. No way. No way. Trump is not that bad, y'all. Right? That's what Jimmy Dore was saying. Why did Jimmy Dore say that? Because he knew that, one, his brand was set the Democrats up for failure. Right? There is the infamous interview that Jimmy Dore did with Sam Cedar, also known as Samuel Cedar, on his show, and then Jimmy Dore just disappeared from the Progressive Media Network. After that, he just disappeared 4 years ago, right? And he said the Democrats will never let Trump get those justices in. He ignored the fact that Republicans obstructed Obama because they had a majority, and he was saying Democrats, they just, they're going to lose the Senate. They're going to have 43 seats in the Senate, but they're going to stop Trump's getting 3 justices. That's what Jimmy Dore was saying. Why did Jimmy Dore say that 4 years ago? Because Jimmy Dore wanted to set up the Democrats for failure so that he could say he called it. And I want to tell you this. 4 years ago, Jimmy Dore started this grift, and really it's culminated in the last year. Now, let's look at Bernie 2020. Now, Bernie 2016, Jimmy Dore was on the side of calling him a cuck. Bernie's a cuck. He's a cuck, right? Bernie is a cuck. So, because he's a cuck, you can't support him in 2020. And so what he did was he found Tulsi Gabbard, right? Tulsi Gabbard. Who is Tulsi Gabbard? Been placating right-wingers. She just introduced anti-trans legislation. She's famously anti-abortion. She's garbage. But she ostensibly was for Medicare for all, right? Until she wasn't. But Jimmy Dore endorsed Tulsi Gabbard because Jimmy Dore could not agree with mainstream progressive media. He could not, put, his issues aside with Bernie and work with that coalition to get across the finish line. He was unable to do so, right? And so now let's cue Brianna Joy Gray. Brianna Joy Gray entered this mess going into the Bernie 2020 press secretary. That's what her role was. So you've got Jimmy Dore, who's against Bernie, who has been setting up the Democrats to be the main enemies. You've got Brianna Joy Gray, who was with the Bernie Sanders campaign, right, lending her credentials. Yeah, Bernie failed. She was saying that you shouldn't vote for Biden, all this. And again, a lot of her arguments, I agree with. A lot of them. I would say 99.9% of the arguments for policy that Brie puts out there, I agree with. But her opinions on strategy are sorely lacking, right? And that's my problem here. But so you've got that Bernie 2020 credence combined with Jimmy Dore calling Bernie a cuck. Well, if Bernie 2020's own campaign secretary is agreeing with Jimmy Dore, who says Bernie is a cuck, doesn't that mean that Bernie is a cuck? And then Nick Brana comes into the fray, the guy who founded the People's Party. Yeah, that's right, the People's Party. We're not the Democrats. We're not the Republicans. We're not the Greens. We're not the Libertarians. We're the People's Party. Now, they're the People's Party in name only. In reality, I've been doing some digging, and I'm hoping to give you some more content on this. In reality, the People's Party is a top-down, undemocratic organization similar to the Green Party, and it's all a narcissism campaign and project by Nick Brana, who wants to just be the spokesperson of this new party. So, you've got Nick Brana, Brianna Joy Gray, and Jimmy Dore creating what I call the Unholy Alliance. Jimmy Dore coming in with his massive audience, who's previously established his credibility of Democrats suck, they're the problems with everything, which is true, they are a problem. They're not the only problem, but they are an extreme problem, which is true. Brianna Joy Gray working with the Bernie Sanders campaign, then saying that you shouldn't vote for Biden. And again, I agree with all of the reasons why she came up with not voting for Biden. I just disagree with the strategy again. But again, Bernie Sanders' own campaign press secretary is saying not to vote for Biden. Why? Because Democrats are evil, right? Then Nick Brana, who's been sitting on the sidelines since 2016, who thought, I can't get Bernie's attention. Well, what am I going to do? Well, then Jimmy Dore and Brianna Joy Gray come in, right? And then, all of a sudden, a movement for a People's Party. All of a sudden, the People's Party is gaining a lot more steam. So for 3 years, the People's Party is an undemocratic, failed organizational apparatus. And then Jimmy Dore starts to show up, right? And you've got these other podcasters like Ryan Knight, who, by the way, a year ago was a Warren person. And I just want to say explicitly, we all grow, we all evolve, we all change, right? Now, I've said some fucked up stuff, right? So I'm not going to go out there and say, if you said fucked up stuff 5 years ago, 10 years ago, even 6 months ago, that I'm going to hold it against you. What really matters is when you say fucked up stuff in a pattern, when there's an ability to see A to B to C to D to E to I to, the rest of the alphabet, right? In whichever order that you may see. When you have that ability, right, to see a pattern, then all of a sudden the evolution conversation is different. Right? And especially this is incredibly important when it comes to rich people and people in positions of power. Right? All these podcasters are rich. They're rich. Brianna Joy Gray gets $35K a month on her podcast. she's rich. Jimmy Dore, he got $5,000 in super chats just a couple nights ago. That's more than I made on YouTube in 5 years. The guy's rich. Nick Brana, right, is going to utilize these rich people to become rich himself. I don't know if he's already rich. I haven't looked that far into it yet. But if he's not rich, he's going to get rich quick. Because this is a scam. That's what this is. So, anyway, again, stop the steal. 4 years of Donald Trump leads to stop the steal. 4 years of Democrats are evil leads to force the vote. What does force the vote mean? What does stop the steal mean? It means whatever you want it to mean. If force the vote is a way for you to convince yourself that AOC is evil, there you go. If stop the steal is a way for you to convince yourself that Mitch McConnell is evil, Kelly Loeffler, David Perdue, there you go. If force the vote is a way for you to, say, I hate Democrats, I hate them, force the vote. All right. But don't pretend like you're a strategic thinker. Again, these are the people who said, fuck Democrats. Bree, Nick, and Jimmy, they all said, fuck Democrats over the last, year or so. So why are they all of a sudden going to be the ones dictating Democratic strategy? It's weird. It's a sense of entitlement. And I want to go into this a little bit more with some tweets. So I gave you I'm sorry for that long-winded introduction, but I really wanted, I really want you to think about this. I really do. Because it's a very bizarre, and again, I've been focusing on the QAnon and Stop the Steal conspiracy stuff on my channel for the last 6 months, because especially when I saw Marjorie Taylor Greene win her primary in Georgia in a safe red district, that, to me, the lesson that I learned from that was that the power of these conspiracy theories and this culture of conspiracy theories that the right is creating is a problem. It is a massive problem. And so I kind of been focusing on that for the last couple of months. If you watch my Trump content, you'll know how I always try to wrap it into this QAnon thing, because that's what it is. Right? You have to look at these things from all angles. Yeah, it's funny to laugh at Trump. Absolutely. But you have to see, you have to think, what if I put on a different hat and I read what Trump said? What would I think then? And that's the same fucking thing with Jimmy Dore. Jimmy Dore has been setting himself up to be in a very Trump-like position, where he's able to promote these conspiracy theories with little pushback because people are afraid of upsetting Jimmy's audience. Why did Trump reign terror in the Republican Party? Because people are afraid of upsetting the voters that Trump appealed to. Why are a lot of progressive media hosts afraid to call out Jimmy Dore? Because they don't want to have to lose parts of their audience. I've already lost my audience. I had 150 people. I did the math. YouTube lets you see the people that unsubscribe versus the people that subscribe. I lost 150 fucking subscribers of the last 3 weeks. Fuck it. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I don't care if I've lost my subscribers. Oh no. Because guess what? I gained 300 to 400. So, all you are, when you unsubscribe from me, all you're doing is creating an echo chamber for yourself. And that's what Jimmy Dore is doing. Jimmy Dore is trying to put you against everyone else. That's what Trump did. Trump said, don't listen to those Republicans, listen to me. And then all of a sudden, Trump has 96% approval rating in the Republican Party. Jimmy Dore is saying, don't listen to Sam Cedar, don't listen to Ben Dixon, don't listen to Nomiki Konst, they're all evil. Listen to me, listen to the People's Party. That's what Jimmy Dore is saying. He not only wants you to subscribe to him and to get his message, but he wants you to unsubscribe from everyone else, because that's what creates the echo chamber. When you are only subscribed to Jimmy Dore and the Gray Zone and Rolling Stone's Useful Idiots, when you're only subscribed to these outlets that all agree with each other, you are not going to get an outside message. You're not going to get that shift in perspective. You are going to go down a conspiracy theory network. And Jimmy Dore and all of his enablers are creating this network, and there are people that are falling for it. They're unsubscribing from every other YouTuber under the sun, including me. Again, I'm some dumb bitch with 8,000 subs, almost, right? I'm rounding up, I'm allowed. So I'm some dumb bitch with 8,000 subs, and I'm seeing what's happening behind the scenes. Imagine what these more popular YouTubers are going through, right? Like Ben Dixon's going up there saying he lost like fucking 15,000 followers. I don't doubt it. So again, that's all Jimmy Dore saying you can't subscribe to anyone else. You got to subscribe to me and only me, because that way I control you, and it's about power. So I want to be very explicitly clear with that. And I'm sorry for being long-winded. And I know that this content, right, this is not for the Force the Vote crew. They're too far gone. The Force the Vote crew, they're gone. If you're down that rabbit hole, you're down that rabbit hole. This is the content for the people that are on the sidelines. For the people that are like, what? What's the big deal here? What is this all about? Who don't have time to read Twitter all day. Who aren't on YouTube all day. That's where I come in. That's my job. I'm here to translate all the noise into an actual message that makes sense. And I hope I did a good job. I hope I did a good job. You can let me know. I don't know. I'm trying to, you know, wrap this in to the Trump thing, because I think they're very, I think they're almost identical. I think they're almost identical. But you know,